Okay, so we're going to start with an overview of the chapter before we talk about the activity that's related to this lesson. So if you follow along while I read and discuss out loud, you could stop this video at any time and start it over. So right now we're on the front page of our presentation, Chapter 7, Greece. You should be in the book if you want to follow along in your book. So on page 332 is the beginning of the chapter. It gives the big ideas of the chapter. So section 1 covers the early Greeks. Section 2 covers Sparta and Athens. Section 3, Persia attacks the Greeks. And section 4, the age of Pericles. So if you want to follow along, section 1 is the early Greeks, and it's on page 336. If you hear me flipping pages, it's because I've opened up my book as well. So just follow along as I read out all the essentials. So physical geography plays a role in how civilizations develop and decline. Greece's mountains, climates, and surrounding seas played a large role in its history. The earliest civilizations in Greece were the Minoans and the Mycenaeans. So if you look at section 1, it does say guide to reading, and this is where we have the people, places, and vocabulary. And it also covers the main ideas of this section. So as you can see, there are at least 5 main ideas of this section. Usually at the beginning of the chapter, there's always the geography. And so we're going to start with the geography of Greece. This influenced where people lived and what they did, and that can be found on page 337. The Minoans earned their living by building ships and trading, page 338. Mycenaeans built the first Greek kingdoms and spread their power across the Mediterranean region, if you want to read that while I read it. The idea of Greek citizenship developed in Greek city-states, and colonies and trade spread Greek culture and spurred industry. So the places, people, and vocabulary that you're going to use in your task card for our Collaborate slide, you can use Crete, Mycenae, Peloponnesus. This is a person, Agamemnon, and then our content vocabulary down in this column. So section 2 is Sparta and Athens. We compare Sparta and Athens a lot because they're two very different city-states. So systems of order such as law and government contributes to stable societies. Athens and Sparta, the two major city-states in ancient Greece, developed different governments that emphasized opposite aspects of society. Sparta focused on its military, while Athens focused on trade, culture, and democracy. So Sparta was the brute, the force. Athens was the refined, cultured group. So focusing on the main ideas of section 2, tyrants were able to seize power from the nobles with the support of Greek farmers, merchants, and artisans. The Spartans focused on military skills to control the people they conquered. And I've listed the page numbers, so if you want to go back and review some of those notes for your task cards, you can. Unlike Spartans, Athenians were more interested in building a democracy than building a military force. And then places, left-hand column is the list of places for this section. People are in the center, and then the content vocabulary on the right, tyrant, oligarchy, democracy, and helot. Section 3, Persia attacks the Greeks. If you want to flip to page 351, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I've tabbed my pages. I always tab them. So the main idea is conflict often brings about great changes. So Athens and Sparta got together and they defeated the Persians. Focusing on the main ideas of section 3, the Persian Empire united a wide area under a single government. Both Sparta and Athens played a role in defeating the Persians. And some vocabulary. So I'll go down and I'll read some of the places. Persia, which is present-day Iran, Marathon, Thermopylae, Salome, Plataea, Cyrus the Great, Darius, this is Xerxes, and Themistocles, satrapies, satrap, and this is Zoroastrianism, and that's a kind of religion that they practiced, and it was the belief in one God, and that's probably going to be on your test, so pay special attention to that one. Section 4, the age of Pericles. So civilizations with strong economies prosper and grow. That's an essential idea. Under the leadership of Pericles, Athens became a powerful city-state with a blossoming culture and strong economy. Main ideas. Under Pericles, Athens became very powerful and more democratic. Athenian men and women had very different roles, and Sparta and Athens went to war over control of Greece. Some people, ancient places, Delos, Pericles, Aspasia, and then our democracy system here. So what's next? You are going to put together an advertisement to visit ancient Greece. Groups have been formed, and you can find them in our classroom under the assignments. But right now, we're going to go to the Google Docs, and you have access to that in your classroom. I'm going to look at it right now. So the instructions are: move to Greece. Come to a land where you can be a farmer, a fisherman, or a sailor. And I'll have a paper copy waiting for you when you get to class. I know that we sometimes like paper copies. So this isn't just to give you an overview, an idea of what you should include in your advertisement. I used to do this as a travel brochure, but this time we're going to do it as a collaborative group assignment. And it'll be fun. You'll be putting together a group PowerPoint. So let's go down to some vocabulary words. So right here it says experience firsthand the Mycenaean ruins, it's late, and fortified palaces. Once you've decided to move to Greece, you may consider the following locations. So these locations are already claimed in your task cards, and I'll pass those out. And once you get an idea of who your group members are, there'll be probably a group of 3. Maybe there will be one group of 2. So these are the items that must be on your advertisement task card. Okay, so the geography of ancient Greece, or the place on your task card. So there'll be a different name for each one. Opportunities for farming and trade. Images, so you're going to cut and paste or upload images onto your slide. And then some key terms. Now, on the instructions, I think I've only required 3 key terms for each one, and you get to pick which 3. So these are the ISTE standards. If you click on this on the document in your classroom, you'll be able to find the standards. So this is where you can access the Google Slides. I'm going to go ahead and click on it to show you what it looks like. Or actually, I'll click on it after we go through the task cards. So task card 1, if you're handed task card 1, you'll be doing Crete. And see, it's just pretty cut and dry and simple. Just pick 3 vocabulary words of your choice. Some geographical features. In the rubric, I explain how many I'm looking for. I think I'm looking for 2. If there's an image or map of your location, and some pictures of the things that you advertise for trade. So everybody has the same task, just a different place. So there are 10 task cards. Here's the rubric. So this project is worth 20 points if you can complete all of the tasks. I'm giving you a few points for all members working well together, and I know in 6th grade that's a little bit tricky. And so the due date, we will determine in class a proper due date. I like to give everybody a chance to have a voice in that. If it will take us a week to do this, 1 class period, who knows? Okay, so now I'm going to scroll back up, and I'm going to click on the link for the Google Slides. I think that should be it. Yes. So I've already put together the initial slide, and it says move to Greece, come to a land where you can be a farmer, a sailor, a fisherman. So each team will be taking a slide. You can pick, if you want to pick slide 2, you just go ahead and work on slide 2, but we can move these slides in any order we want. You're just going to grab one of those slides and start working on it as a team. So if we have any questions, you go ahead and send me a comment through the classroom, or an email, or you can speak with me in classroom time. So here we go.